Hello everyone, good day and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I am tasked to explain the code that I made in our activity, which is about searching algorithm. So this is the code that I made. Now let's explain it one by one. Now it will read our import java.util.scanner. So this allows our user to input. Next, we have our public class named search, and under it we have our Java main method. Next, we have the instantiation of scanner named sc equals new scanner system.in. Next, it will print these two code, searching algorithm, then enter the size of your array. So the output will be like this. Next, it will prompt the user to enter any value of our size right here. This one. So for example, our user enter number 5. So the value of our size will be 5. So next right here is the declaration of our array named arr equals new int then size. So this means this is 5. It is because the user input a value of 5 to our size. So note size is equals to 5. So next it will print enter 5 elements to your array. So this is our output. So next we have declaration of integer variable I, and we have for loop statement right here. So this for loop will perform if the condition is still true, otherwise it will end. So right here under our for loop, it allows our user to input any elements to our array. So the user only input an element to our array if our for loop, the condition of our for loop is true. Otherwise, the user will not input again. So in our example, the user input 30651. And note that 3 is at index 0 and 0 is at index 1 and 6 at 2 and 5 at 3 and 1 at 4. So next we have instantiation of integer variable srch is equals to 0. Now it will print enter the value you want to be searched. So we have srch equals sc dot next int. So this allow user to input a value to our srch. Now the user here inputted 6. So the value of ours srch is 6. Next, it will print choose your desired searching technique. Note that binary search is only applicable to sorted array, type Y, big letter Y or small letter Y for yes, and big N or small n for no. So next we have initialization of char variable type with a value of 0. So next we have our do while statement right here. So under it, it will print is the is the array sorted. So it will ask the user if the array he input is or she input is sorted or not. So next, type is equal to sc dot next at dot char at 0. So this means 0 right here is index 0. So this means that if the user input many letters, so only the program accepts the index 0, which is our first letter. For example, the, THE. So this means that the program only accepts the index 0, which is the letter T. So in this case, the user entered M, big M. Now it will check our while, the condition. So remember that type, the value of type is letter M. So it will check M is not equal to big Y. It is true. And M is not equal to small y. It is true. And type is not equal to N. It is not true. So, and M is not equal to N. It is true. And M is not equal to N. It is true. So this means both in our condition is true. So once it is true, it will back again to our loop. So it is false, it will jump to this block of code. So now we will back to our do, then it will print again is the array sorted. So it will ask again the user if the array is sorted or not. So here the user entered small n. Now it will check again the condition. So the value of our type is small n. So small n is not equal to y. Is true. And small n is not equal to small y is true. And small n is not equal to big N is true. And small n is not equal to n, that means false. So since it is false, so it will jump to our next code, this block of code. Then it will print menu, the next linear search and binary search. And we have initialization of char variable choice with a value of 0. So next we have another loop right here, the do while loop. So it will print, under it is enter your choice. So right here. Then it will prompt the user to input. Then the user, in our example, inputted big N. Now we have switch choice right here. So it will check if the value of choice, which is N, has the same case in our case right here. So since we have only case B and case A, so we have only two cases and there is no case N. So let's jump to our condition, if statement. So choice, so our value of choice is N. So N is equal to A or N is equal to B. So this means it is false, so we need to jump to our else statement. So under our else statement, we have continue. So when we say continue, so it will skip the next code and it will go back to loop. So the while under here, while choice is not equal to A and so on, so it will be skipped and will back again to our looping. Now it will back to print enter your choice and then prompt the user to input. So now our user input big B. So the value of our choice is now B. Now switch B, so it will find the case. So we have case A and case B. So So case A will be skipped since we have case B. So the code under case B will be performed. So we have if statement right here. So type is equal to big Y or type is equal to Y. So that means the value of our type is n, so n is equals to big Y or n is equals to small y. So which means is false. So we will skip the, so this code will not be performed. So we will skip to else statement. So under our else statement, we have to print binary search is not applicable. The array is not sorted and continue. So it will be skip this code and proceed to while. While choice is not equal to A or choice is not equal to B, so the value of our choice is letter B. So B is not equal to A, which is true, or B is not equals to B, which is false. So it will return true. It is because our condition is OR. So we need to return it as true. So it will go back to our looping. Now it will print enter your choice again and prompt the user to input. So now the user input big A. Then switch A. So it will check the cases. So we have case A right here. And we'll perform the code under the case A. So we have condition right here. If type is equal to n or type is equal to small n, so our type, the value of our type is right here. The value of our type is small n. So therefore, n is equal, small n is equals to big N, which is false, or small n is equals to n, which is true. So since our condition is OR, so we need to return it as true because it is OR. So it will print elements in the array are 3, 0, 6, 5, and 1. Why? It is because of our print statement right here and the for loop right here. So under the for loop, we have to print the array, the indexes in our array, the value of array in our indexes. So it will print the value of array if our condition in our for loop is true. So otherwise, it will not print. And next, we have initialization of integer variable result is equals to method linear search with a parameter of ARR and SRCH. So as you observe, we don't have any object creation or instantiation before here. So it is because our method is declared as static. So we don't need to instantiate an object. So in our parameter ARR, it will bring the value in our array, and for SRCH, it will bring the value of our SRCH, which is 6, and it will be transferred to here. Now it will read our for loop. So this for loop is only traverse our values each in our array. So if ARR X is equals to search, or CSRCH, so which is the value is 6, so it will return X. So otherwise it will return -1. So after traversing the array one by one, so we find the value of SRCH at index 2. So thus we will return it as 2. So this is wrong. So I made a mistake right here. So this means that it will return 2 right here. So neglect the number 6 right here. So it means 2. So the value of 2, so it will return here to our variable result. So the value of our result right now is 2. So if 2 is equals to -1, it will print the statement right here. But since it is false, it will skip and proceed to else statement. Then it will print this code. So the value you search is present at index, the value of result is 2, and then break. Now let's proceed. So we have if right here. So if choice is equals to A or choice is equals to B, so it will print this code. So the value of our choice is letter A, big A. So A is equals to A, which is true, and A is equals to B, which is false. But since it is OR, so we need to return it as true. So we need to print thank you and break. So the output would be like this. And that ends our discussion for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you and goodbye.